Our objective, ladies and gentlemen, for today is this. Everybody in here, when this class is over, will be able to speak to this. Understand that power over your life begins and ends with self-control by examining scenarios where choices have led to successful and unsuccessful outcomes. Everybody with me?
Yes.
Yes. Let's go. What is that?
Self-control.
What does it say?
Self-control.
Think about that. Be mindful about self-control. In your journal, I want you to jot down, when I say go, the definition of self-control in your own words. In addition to that, I want you to answer the question, why is self-control important? And finally, why are we discussing self-control in school? Is everybody clear about what you're expected to do now?
Yes.
All right, you have 2 minutes. Do that now. Talk to your neighbor about the definition of self-control, why self-control is important, and why are we discussing self-control in school. Do that now. You have 2 minutes.
Self-control is when you take over your action, you're responsible for your mistakes. Self-control is important because you never take responsibility. Self-control is having control over your emotions and controlling your behavior, because if you don't, then you probably will have a negative outcome. Self-control is important because I believe that you need self-control in order to be successful.
Minute 30.
I think we are discussing self-control in class because they're trying to get us prepared for when we become adults and like to have control over ourselves in our job or something like that, so we don't get fired.
Let's get some risk-taking scholars to share out their answer to the first question. What is your definition of self-control? Yes, ma'am.
Self-control is knowing how to control yourself and knowing how to stay in control.
She says self-control is knowing how to control yourself
and knowing how to stay in control.
and knowing how to stay in control. Okay. Can I get some more people to give us their definition of self-control?
Self-control is when you take over your actions, be responsible for your mistakes.
When you take over your actions. What do you mean? Give us an example. What do you mean by that?
Like when someone's leading you to do something that you don't want to do,
Yeah.
and you do the right thing instead of taking the bad.
Absolutely. That is taking control over your actions. Absolutely. Anybody else want to share their answer for the definition of self-control before we move forward? Yes, sir.
What self-control means to me is that you control what you do. You're in power of yourself. You are your own boss.
Absolutely. He says you are in power, going back to our objective. You have power over yourself and you are your own boss. Do we agree with that? Absolutely. I like those definitions. Wonderful. Okay. Why is self-control important? Why is self-control important? Yes, sir.
Self-control is important because you don't want no one else taking over your emotions and feelings.
Right. You don't want anybody else, Erica said, you don't want anybody else to be in charge of you. Anybody else? Who else? Yes, sir.
Self-control is important because it helps you choose how your life is going to go by.
It helps you choose how your life is going to progress and go about. Absolutely. I agree with you. And then finally, why are we discussing, and I see, why are we discussing self-control in school? What's the rationale? I see you. I'm coming to all of you. Yes, ma'am.
I think that we are discussing self-control in class because y'all are trying to get us prepared for like when we become adults and
Yep.
have our own job.
Yep.
And to like, even if your boss like gets on your nerves and stuff, like you have to have control over yourself for like so you don't get fired.
Absolutely. Right. The lack of self-control has lots of social implications on your ability to live a progressive life. Does it not?
Yes.
Absolutely. Hayden, what were you going to say?
We are learning self-control because it helps, like, in schools we are learning self-control so that it can help us.
I'm with you. Go for it. Read it. Read it.
So it can help us build our character because once we get older, we're not going to, like, it's already hard on us first to determine who we are,
Yeah.
and what we do as, like, our purpose in life.
Right.
But once we get older, then we'll find the true meaning.
Absolutely. I love that. Absolutely. I love Before we do that, before we move forward, I need a few risk-taking scholars. I need a few brave risk-taking scholars who would like to model for the class maybe an experience that shows us choices, self-control? Okay? Who's willing to do that? I need some risk-taking scholars. Okay, I got 2, 3, 4. That's what I'm talking about. Come to the board. All right, folks, let's give your peers. First of all, let's clap it up that they decided to take that. Okay. So they're about to model for us what you all told me about self-control. Whenever you're ready, you can begin.
Yeah, I'm kind of nervous for the math. Yeah, the math test. I feel like it's gonna be hard. It's okay though.
Hey guys, I heard we have a math test in class. We should just go ahead and skip that class. You want to go to Walmart?
But I mean, if we at least try, we could get better than.
Nah, but let's go. It's gonna be bored in there, and then we have to be quiet for a long time. Let's go.
But we might get caught. You know.
We're not.
Forget that. You know I'm down.
You down? You want to go to Walmart? All right.
Bro, they stupid.
Hey, I mean, we can still go to Walmart. We go eat some chips, you know.
Good up.
In that scenario, that's something that is close to y'all. They all have experiences with that, where you're grappling with, I know I need to do this. Somebody comes along and wants to try to persuade you to do something else, and you've got to make a decision to use some self-control. Right? I think that was a wonderful display of self-control and choices that we all made. All right? Do you all agree? That's wonderful. Okay, let's move forward. I'm about to play a clip, ladies and gentlemen. Now, let me be completely honest and transparent. There is 2 curse words on there. But I want you all to be smart, intellectual people, okay? Don't be too bothered and thrown out of pocket by it, because I've heard worse. Not condoning it, but I'm just telling you what it is. I'm going to play this video, okay? Everybody in this video, ladies and gentlemen, has made a choice. And that choice demonstrates their ability or inability to exhibit self-control. At the end of the clip, I want you to answer these questions. Did the people in the clip lack self-control? Do they have power over their lives? I want you to put yes or no and then provide your answer. Provide the example. Provide the extended thought. Okay? Not only are you answering those 2 questions, but you answer these questions. What does self-control look like? What does it sound like? And what does it feel like? Is there anybody in here who's not clear about what we're about to do now? Perfect. Here's the video.
What grade you in? What are your grades like? So you're not stupid. You just make stupid choices. You're not stupid. You understand me? I don't give a damn what nobody else tell you. I'm telling you. She disrespects her mother, physically assaults her mother. I would like the opportunity to show her how her mother feels.
I want you to respond to these questions. Did the people in the clip lack self-control? Do they have power over their lives? What does self-control look like? What does it sound like? And what does it feel like? You have 3 minutes. Do that now. I want you to turn and talk to your group about your answers to these questions. You have 2 minutes. Do that now.
They don't have power over their lives because they're intended to doing something that they have no control over.
Your attention, please. All right, I heard, first of all, let me thank y'all, because as soon as I released y'all, just everybody's fingers just start. That's all I heard in here. So you saw a scenario by your classmates, okay? I showed you another scenario, all right? Now I want you all, let's discuss these questions. Do the people in that clip lack self-control? Okay, talk about it.
The people in the clip lack self-control because what other reason would they be in there?
Talk about it. What other reason why would they be in jail, right? If they didn't, or if they did have the self-control that they were supposed to have. Yes, ma'am.
Well, they didn't have the lack of self-control because it was like, what the clip was, it was a TV show, Beyond Scared Straight. And
Yeah.
like, the only way you end up on there is if you did something very bad to the point that
Yeah.
your parents can't take anymore. So they send you there to get an example and be better.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Do they have power over those of their lives? The people in that clip, Miguel?
I mean, they do have power of life, like how that lady said, like they just make stupid mistakes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like they do, but they just, the dumb choices they have made.
Do they really have power over their lives? Think about the people in that situation. Do they have power? I'm seeing people shake their head. Talk about it. Why? Do they not have power?
For example, that girl, she said that why was she acting like that? Like
Yeah.
a woman, and then the girl said, I'm acting like this because my mom, like, she got out of jail and then she's back, and then she said, how do you feel? And she says, mad.
Yeah.
Next time she's mad, her feeling, like, it takes over control, and that's why she's like that's why she's there, because the other parent couldn't take it.
And so she doesn't have power then over her life. Somebody else talk about that. Talk about that. Somebody else. Does she have the power over her life?
Well, I feel like the lady or the man, I don't know.
That's a lady. It was a lady. She was just a rough lady.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that lady, like, that she had self-control. I mean, she had power over her life because I think she learned from her mistakes because she told the girl that she didn't want her to end up like her mom and her because she wanted better for her. So I think like she did have power.
I think she's got power in that sense, but does she have real power? Like, can she walk out of those doors and
Oh,
go
no,
to work?
no,
She
not
can't
like
have, right. So who has power over here?
Like, yeah,
The state does, right? She is a slave of the state because she lacked what?
Self-control.
Absolutely. She has no. What does self-control look like? A person that has self-control, what do they look like? What do they do?
They look organized.
They look organized, right? That's control. What else does a person who has self-control, what do they look like? Yes, ma'am.
Very respectful.
Very respectful. Okay. You taking all the juice. Let somebody else get some of this. What does a respectful person, or I'm sorry, what does a person who has self-control, what do they sound like? What types of things do they say? I don't know. I see you. Yes, sir.
Courageous.
Okay, hold on. What types of things do they say? When you're thinking about somebody who has self-control, what types of things or phrases or words? I see a bunch of hands. I see y'all. I'm going to get all of y'all on. What types of things do they say, Oscar? And I'm coming to y'all.
Like things that motivate people to do better.
Okay, I'm with you. But think of yourself. If you are a person who has self-control, what type of things or words or phrases are you saying? I'm seeing y'all, but I'm coming back to you. Okay, listen to what your teammates say, your classmates say, and I'm going to come back to you. Yes, sir.
They say no.
What do you mean?
Like when people like ask them to do something, they're like no because they have control over them.
They say no. Yes, sir.
like a person that's self-control, like they say like simple stuff like no, thank you, or stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Like if it's a respectful manner, it's a yes ma'am, no ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes sir. Yes, sir.
Absolutely. What is a person who has true self-control? What do they feel like? Yes, ma'am.
I feel like when they're heated or mad at somebody, like they really, really want to say stuff, but they have self-control over that, and like they don't say nothing. They just like stay quiet or like say like yes, ma'am, I listen to you or something.
So how do they feel? What is that feeling?
They feel like I don't know, like
Just want you to turn and talk to your group about how people who have self-control, what do they feel? Do that now. And I see y'all. Go talk. What is it?
I don't know, like they feel like they just want to say stuff to like the person, but then like once they like calm down or something, they like look back at it and like think like they're proud of themselves for not saying all those crazy things.
I got you. That's, you're absolutely right. Okay. So she made it plain. Describe what you exactly what you told me. Say that.
That when like they're mad, like that person's trying to tell the other person like a whole bunch of things, but like once they calm down or like the next day or something, they look back at it and they feel proud of themselves for not saying all those crazy things because it will have a negative outcome and not a positive.
Absolutely. I see you. Hey.
People that have self-control, they'll feel like a leader. Because
They feel like a leader. Talk about it. Why do they feel like a leader?
They feel like a leader because they know how to make their own decisions.
Yeah.
They can help other people that don't have self-control.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Anybody else want to share before?